To the Abundance Show. I am your guest host today, Shannon Titus Lovegren, and I am going to be introducing Zafar because he has done the most amazing things and he has been living in abundance and he's been creating abundance and help sharing that with other people. So we're going to flip it because he thinks I had something to do with his abundance and I had nothing to do with his abundance. He had everything to do with his abundance. So I'm going to ask him some questions today about how he is doing. So, Zafar, what is up with you? What have you been doing and how are you?
Thank you so much. I accept my heartfelt gratitudes. Shannon, you are such a great mentor that I am today. What I am today is I owe you lots to you. You remember you got me a video link asking for 100 days rejection challenge, and that changed and rewired my brain. And earlier, I mean, it's been an year probably now. This was last winter you were talking about that, and now I mean it's like been 1 year or probably. And I learned. I watched that video for like dozens of times, and I got energies, and it changed my perspective about rejection. It's not you if somebody is rejecting you. The one someone who's rejecting, we need to understand why he or she is rejecting. There are a million reasons we never look at them. I mean, we start crying, oh my goodness, I'm rejected, I'm so bad, I'm so low, I'm not worth it. And everything, then the story, the loop starts. And then you can't get out of that loop, and you get down, dim, and that's what happened. Your energies goes down. When there are no energies, you can't work. And when you can't work, there are no results. When there are no results, everything, your health and happiness goes down the drain, and you are left with nothing. So so you are sinking your own ship with your own. Otherwise you can do otherwise. So the otherwise is what you told me, to ask your kids to do something impossible, ask your colleagues to do something impossible. And I really, I thousands and billions of thanks to you, Shannon. Back to you.
So, what Zafar is talking about is I shared with him a TED talk, and I think it was called What I Learned from 100 Days of Rejection. And you can look it up or we can put it in the show notes. But it was so funny because a guy just for 100 days started asking outrageous things that are crazy. Like, hey, can I have a refill on my hamburger?
Burger, burger.
Like,
Yeah,
nobody, you don't get a
yeah.
refill on your hamburger. But he asked it, and then he would say, like, no, we don't do that. But he just got used to getting rejected. And then it transformed his life because he started asking for things that that seemed outrageous. And half the time, people would be like, all right, okay, sure, you can't fly the plane, but you can sit in the cockpit and we'll, show you how we fly the plane. I mean, so it led to all these great things. So now Zafar has taken it upon himself to do these exact exercises, and it's gone well. Well, tell me about some of the crazy things that you've asked people to do.
In fact, it gets the logical mind. Why are there rejections? We never think of, the first time he went to the same guy went to a gatekeeper, a guard, and he asked for $100. And since it was the first time, and he did not wait for the response coming from that guard, because it was definitely, it was tough for the very security guard to get you $100, and it was like, I mean, quite not many years earlier. So he was already anticipating that he'll be rejected, and he was not ready. This brain is, bloody thing. I mean, this is what is, I mean, letting us down all the time. I really hate it. It's an army. This brain is an army. If you don't rule it, it rules you. and it is you ruins you. So you got to rule it. So all things. And then I asked my kids even to do some impossible things. I asked for $5 million for the person who cleans my table in my. And I asked somebody to, can you get me some like some Vigo or like a V8 or like big car, a huge, big, very expensive one here in my country. He said, "Are you crazy? I mean, who are you?" I mean, it was so. I was old. I did that exercise. I mean, not to that level. I didn't go to out, but I mean, where I was moving in very secure environment, just to rewire my brain that it's not you. If you are being rejected, it's none of your mistake. If someone is rejecting you, if a girl is rejecting a boy, that I'm sorry, I'm not getting married to you, or if a boy is rejecting, it's not you, it's him or his things. So you got to figure it out. So it's in fact you changed my perspective, Shannon. It's all about fishing in a pond which has only two fish, and there is a pond behind you, it has 2 million fish. So it's like just perspective change. So like looking at this place, and it's like 6 and 9. So
Yeah.
I think things are like 6 and 9. Back to you.
Yeah. So what difference? So now you're not afraid of getting rejected. You don't take it personally. It's not about you. It's about wherever, you know, the person's understanding of the situation or their resources or their time or whatever. Um, what difference has that made in your day-to-day life and in your building this abundance um, academy?
Wow. Oh, wow. Again, thanks to you. Just because you've been on my podcast, one thing is for sure that you've got some magic. I don't know what, but you have it. Honestly, like it's like you got some magic wand. You do something and it happens. Once I was very down. We were talking, and you said, "Okay, I'm sending you good vibes. You'll be okay." And I don't know what happened. I really, really can't explain what. But I was all, I got into good moods, and you've been instrumental. I don't know. It happens just because if your mentor is already, you have lived a great life, and you're doing still. I mean, wonder. I mean, what you're doing. Then I've been following you, even Jacqueline, Margaret. I mean, amazing people you are.
You're
And
like thank you so much for all this praise, but you're doing the work. You are the one who's building your abundance organization and reaching out to people. Did you just said when before we got on this interview that you have interviewed 360 people? Tell me more
300 and
about tell me about how
300.
you're
Yeah, it's 300 and 340, 35, 40 people. 300 is more than 300. It's quite a huge big number, and it's like these are like more than 300 atom bombs in fit in me. Like I'm got tons of energies, and each time you're talking to someone, you are getting from lower energy orbit to the higher energy orbit, just because you pump of energy. And you this you just give me like whatever you have done, it has got me the snowball effect. The
Mhm.
small snow on the top of the mountain, and get bigger and bigger. Like I've been podcasting people. I've got rejected. If I've got 340 something podcast, look, I've got 4,500 LinkedIn followers.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you about Facebook and others because I don't really care about them. There are quite a lot. But look at the number of requests I would have launched, number of requests. And look at the number of requests of rejection. And if I've got 4,500 people on LinkedIn, and I've got only 340, around 40 people on the podcast. So look at the ratio. So that's the ratio. So, but again, I don't mind. If someone is not coming to my shop, not a problem. You look at yourself. I have been after you year and months and weeks, and even I would want to call you every day, but I mean, I know you're too busy. It's not you're not rejecting me, not coming to my show. just because you're busy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so happy today to see you on Abundance Show, just
Yeah.
because you are literally tuned into abundance, and this
Well,
you've
it
done
has
a
been.
magic for my life. Yeah,
Oh, well, I'm
and
so glad that I brought
this is live
brought it right
testimony.
back to me. I feel like, oh my goodness, what? I didn't do anything, but you
Yeah,
have done a
yeah,
lot. And I
yeah.
can see it in your face, like you're radiating. Like I can see happiness in your eyes, which is so nice. And Zafar, but I want to know more. Tell me more about, like, okay, now you have your podcast, and what else are you doing with the Global Abundance Organization, and what's been happening in the last year since we talked?
All right. The most important thing is I could get through to lots of communities in US, especially just because I think there US people are leading the globe just because of their mindset. The difference between the first world and the third world is mindset. We here are scarce here. This is all scarcity of mindset. As I told you earlier, that you tune my mind to to see rejection with a different perspective. Rejection is already there. I mean, the rejections are, they are a regular feature. There would be millions, and I mean it's okay. I mean, even I mean when I was born, millions of sperms got rejection, and I got acceptance, and it's same for you. So that's how we were
We're
born.
already winners right from the beginning.
So it's from the right from the beginning. So this is not a problem. If I can win that with that those millions of the sperms, so I can I can fight here with millions of the others. Like so that's the mindset and the change. What I could do is now there are people, they are ready to be part of the abundance global abundance organization. My massive transformative purpose is to unleash abundance of health, wealth, and happiness for 8 billion people. I manifest abundance for 8 billion people every day, and I manifest abundance for you with your name, just because you and Rihan and quite a lot of, well, there are other people also. But I mean, what you changed was perspective of rejection, and I was all into that. Oh my goodness, things are always happening to me. Why me? Why me? I mean, come on. The world is beautiful, and you are just, I mean, focusing on
Miraculous.
this one thing. So that's what has happened, and I could podcast. No, I want to tell you the real happiness that I am happy about. And the Abundance Show is after the name of Abundance 360 of the Peter H. Diamandis in Silicon Valley. You know him, and he is such a huge big brain, like Tony Robbins, like Elon Musk, and he has a platform of this Abundance 360. And they are, and he was the, in fact this was Rihan. He was last year, he was in US, and he wanted to see Peter Damon. Is probably, I told you the story, if you remember, or like, I mean, I can read it again.
I remember.
So okay, so he just put, as you know, he's always asking things on YouTube, or like on Facebook. I saw the post on this, because can somebody get me connected with uh, Peter Diamandis? So what I did, I just got into tuk and I one computer, and I pull out some X Prize, Singularity Universities, and Jimenez.coms, and all these connections, contact numbers, and I put him across, and his numbers to them, and then I kept emailing both of the parties to get them across, because this gentleman is here, he wants to see you, he started school, and school is like, I mean, what do you think? And abundance, the Moonshot podcast, they always discuss, and they've been discussing it for more than 2 decades now, that this AI is here, and this is the new norm is AI. And so the school and everything 300 for that, and this gentleman won't see you. And for that, I mean, I started. This,
All right,
he,
you're gonna have to take it from the top because I haven't talked to you in probably what, 9 months, 8 months? Like time
yeah,
goes by so fast because it feels like I talk to you all the time, but it's been a while. So take me step by step. What is the Global Abundance Organization doing? What level is it at? Are you still connecting? Tell me more about that, and then I want you to tell me about the podcast too. So, but first tell me about your Global Abundance Organization.
all right. Okay, like TED, the massive transformative purpose for the TED Talk is the ideas worth spreading, because it is believed that ideas change everything. Okay, as you change my perspective, so there's changing of idea, and the Google's massive transformative purpose is to, organize the data of the universe, organize the data of the universe, and so forth. And so you can go for Elon Musk, and they have got huge big things to do. So I kept thought, I also wanted to pay back to the universe. I want to, to put back the energies to the universe. And I kept thinking what to do, what to do. Then I got this idea of abundance, and I manifest abundance for 8 billion people. That is peace, prosperity, collaboration, cooperation, and living in harmony together. We've got one blue dot, that is planet Earth. Let's not screw this. So that's the idea of abundance. Just because I live in the area, just because we are not still settling, we are settlers or maybe primitive civilization, and just because of the reason our brains were wired with scarcity. So that's here. I mean, I am. And how about the success? The success is myself. Like, it has changed me. If I am changed, I'm one person. And if anyone, if I can change one person, like you change me one, I'm one. I'm whole big life, and I've got people connected with me. Like, there are like lots of people connected with me, and they are so happy to see me happy, and they are so encouraged. So what you are done is nuclear fission. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 120, and so forth. So boom, like that. So that's nuclear fission that you have done. So that's abundance. That's abundance. This abundance, the global abundance organization. This is doing. This is what it is doing. And I do not have the testimonial to put on the show here like this, but I mean, there are people who feel so encouraged. They feel they are so dimmed down, and I tell them my story. I tell them this is what I mean, and look at these things like this, and look at the world is beautiful, as you've been telling me, as you taught me. I've taken the light from you, and I mean, passing it on. So that's what its global abundance organization is already doing. What I'm doing, I am making ambassadors in each countries. Now I have started making ambassador in each cities, just because I want them to see like-minded people there and live abundant life, help them each other. So the basic concept is mental wellness. If you're a billionaire, trillionaire, and nobody's talking to you, and nobody likes you, what's the use of that huge big money? You are in imprisonment of that's very, very expensive one. This very nice one, but this is a prison. But if you do not have anything, you are just a shepherd, and you are have your few cow and a few sheep and something, but you're happy. You would see people having nothing, but they are happy. That's abundance. They are tuned into. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making ambassadors. I'm talking to people, and everyone on face of earth, they feel that they are part of abundance, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I've done so far. Back to you.
Oh, that is wonderful. And it just seems like just everyone needs a little bit of encouragement. And I think what's so great about your story is I think it was Rehan Maliwala who gave you a personal encouragement and said, you can do this. You're great. Like, but you need to start doing things. And then you started doing. things, and then that work kind of taught you, and then you met more people, and then you got a little bit of encouragement, and that's going, and people don't realize that they can with everything that they desire. Uh, they just need someone to, or that they need to be encouraged and told, like, keep going, keep going. Like, I know it's hard now. That's the universe is pushing back on you. Do you really want these things? Keep going. Keep looking on the bright side. Keep appreciating all the little things that you have, and then you can go step by step forward. Okay, so tell me more about your podcast. Who have you had on that has really inspired you or changed you, other than me? Because I know you're going to say me, but forget about me. Who else?
Why, sure. I mean, I have been deeply touched by Rihan himself. He is such an amazing guy. He's from the different planet. He's an alien. His crow is white. In your part of the world, white crow means something different, which people don't understand now. But they are, because they are not, they don't have that thinking. I'm this level, and he's that level. So I see what he's talking about. That's white crow. But I mean, he's talking absolutely wonderful. I mean, just because he's traveling, he's talking to people. He's the one. And other person is like Kimberly in your orbit, in your universe. It's amazing. Lizel Mendoza, Lizel Mendoza. She is founder of the mentoring club,
Mm.
and she's my mentor. And Kimberly, she's also my mentor. The founder of Silicon Valley. And who else?
Love about Kimberly is she's so funny. She's like kooky, and she's
Yeah.
always doing crazy things, and she's fun. And one thing about it, having an abundant life, like, is a happy life. It's a funny life. It's where people are laughing, and like, we're all so serious. These are the secrets to success. And it's like, ugh, boring. So boring. Like, I think it's so much better when we're like, you know what the secret to success is? I don't know. I have no idea what the secret to success is, but um, I'm going. I'm going to try it. But just having like that joy that comes along with, like, I don't even know if I'm going to be a success, but if I'm laughing, I'm successful. In this moment, when I'm laughing, I'm successful. So that's what I appreciate about Kimberly. She's a real, funny gal.
Yeah. Another
Yeah,
is John D. Anderson. He is buddy of Peter H. Jimenez.
yeah,
That's wow factor. I mean, this is amazing person, and he has put me to meditation. Although Rihan has tried a lot, but this man convinced me, and he put me to reading books. He gets up early morning, like 4 5 o'clock, and then he gives 2 hours for meditation. He's writing, he's reading. So I'm trying to copy him. I could not copy him for 2 hours, but I mean I'm trying to learn just because I'm dyslexic, and it's hard for me to read and write. But I mean I just struggle a bit, and who else? There are lots of people. And Deborah, Divine Deborah, she'll be co-host. She'll be co-hosting with me very soon, and
yeah.
she's another fantastic. And one Andrea Mason, the writer of Victim to Victorious, and she's been instrumental. And she also tried a lot. She struggled a lot with me in the early days. Like it's been more than 1 year now. She was amazing. And who else? And there are a few ladies from Australia, few people from Birmingham, UK, and the one is from Auckland. And yes, Ingrid. I can't really I can't miss her. Ingrid Westman. She's from Switzerland. Wow, I mean, she's your type. She's working for a sustainability. Oh my goodness! I can work for you. I can get you the people who are working sustainability. I could come across dozens of people who are working for sustainability. And are you're also part of that forward earth. You are there
The
in forward. The Matt, Matt
uh,
World.
I don't know if I'm in that organization, but I
There,
am going to
I
Switzerland.
can.
I'm going to go to this conference called AI for Good in July. So if
Oh,
there's
really?
anyone I meet in Switzerland, send me their name and I'll look them up while I'm there.
Oh, sure. Yes, there is the Ingrid is there, and there is one. Jeline is there. There is Zanar. She's your type totally. She funds the startups and for
Me?
sustainability funds. Oh, sure. Yes. You know, I'm a bit. You can count me on.
Thank you.
I can get you people there and if you're going in July next month.
Hmm. July. I'll be there from the 7th to the 10th.
7 to 10, and oh my goodness, it's not a month even,
Yeah.
it's less than a month. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, quite
June.
it's three weeks now. Okay, then I'll just check my LinkedIn. I'll be focusing my all focus gonna go on Switzerland. And
Check us.
yeah, sure. I'll get the people connect the dots, and I'll try to make your visit as valuable as I can. But do get me that conference links and things so that I can copy, and I can just also focus in there. Just because the people they are going there, they are generally not meeting with each other just because everybody is busy. So what I'll try, I'll get them connected with you also, those who are like keynote speakers or like the people there, so that I'll be working as your secretary, and
Okay.
I'll be appointing you with the big guns there. So yeah,
Well, like I don't need the big guns. I just like it's always great when you meet people who care about making the world a better place,
yeah,
and you care about that. Like that's,
ready,
you're trying to spread abundance and changing mindsets from scarcity so people can
abundance,
thrive. And that's essentially my my ambition too. And I just learned this thing the other day that I think you'll find interesting is that there are over 1 million organizations around the world that are working to improve the human nature um, relationship, so that people can thrive and that they can get out of poverty, that they can have the resources that they need. Over 1 million organizations around the world, and that is the largest social movement in history. And we don't think of ourselves as that way. We're all these little individual groups doing good things. But the truth of the matter is, we are together the biggest movement of all time. And we're all trying to make the world a better place for people and for the relationship with the nature. And I think, how incredible is that? It's a challenge because we don't know that we're part of the biggest movement that's ever been created, but you and I are both part of it because we're creating opportunities for abundance and opportunities for connection and for sustainability and for um, providing money to places that need money and all of these things. But like we're kind of a big deal because we're part of this big movement that's happening that nobody knows about and nobody's hearing about, but we're doing it. And I think it's exciting. I think it's so exciting that so many people around the world, if there's 1 million organization, then there's hundreds of millions of people who are working in these organizations, all trying to increase the happiness and health and wealth of the people around the world. So anyway, I just heard that
yeah.
statistic
I,
and thought it was
I like to
incredible.
add. I like to add that that's true. That's truly abundant. That I could podcast a guy in US, and he provides uh, the housing or like housing on the moon, on the Mars.
Okay.
Those who, yeah, and he is mining in the space. Is it crazy? Isn't
He's
it?
Yeah, I
The
mean, it's great, but all things in space are
do,
crazy, but
do,
it's happening.
do you remember the movie Fistful of Gold? Fistful of Gold. And it was an old movie in our childhood, and then it was like finding the treasure, the gold and things into old buildings like the old church or something. So that. So that was one thing. And here we are fighting. We are going with wars just because to grab someone's oil, to grab some rare earth metal or so. Why not we go to the space and bring the diamond's whole meteorite to the earth? You'll be the big boom. So this is what he's doing. It's happening. So that's abundance. So
Yeah.
this is just about looking on one pound, which has only two fish, and the pond on the back has 2 million. So I mean, this is all just, I mean, like, you change my perspective. It's about changing, and this is very, very, very true, as you said, that you and me and the people like us, they are changing. Well, if you have changed me, you've done a tremendous job. Really, really, nothing, no money, no currency can pay you back. Nothing. Even my thanks, no. My gratitude, no. It's only God. It's the energy that you put into the universe, you receive it back.
Yeah.
So that's the only the creator will get you there. Look at the happiness on your face. Look at the happiness on your eyes. And the old aura you have now, no billions of dollars can get you this. But just because you're seeing me happy, and if you're like, I was, you could remember, I was there. You can go back and watch, that you can pull out the recording and watch that. I'm, you man, I mean, what happened to me this, why is it, I mean, man, come on. And then you were like, no, don't worry, come on, this everything, I'm happy. So that's what, the things are changing, and you are an abundant person. You've changed quite a lot, and you've got that, magic wand. You have it, believe it or not.
Enough about me. What about you? So
Okay.
let me say, tell me more about your, like, are you creating any events that with the Global Abundance Organization? What's coming up for you?
You caught me. I was planning to, last year, 2026, same this April 2026. I want to uh, hold Abundance Summit, Global Abundance Summit in Pakistan.
Great.
Physically, yes, I want to. But I mean, since I'm mentee of Lizel Mendoza in the mentoring club, she told me the difficulties, the things. She said, I mean, come on, go for 2027. Just because you have to have this gonna be the first one, so it has to be the biggest one or the bigger one, or should be like very impactful. So just because this where the roll ball will get start rolling, or as else you'll diminish. I don't believe in diminishing, because even if nobody comes, I'll be there. I'll be taking you live. If you can come, fantastic. Else you can be live from there. So you'll be my keynote speaker there, and help me do that. What's your idea?
So I mean, when I think oftentimes people don't do things because they think they have to go big or go home. Like that's all there is to it. But in my experience, the most important thing is to start. If you had a global abundance conference for global abundance and there's 3 people and you have your first conference, that's enough. You start your work and then you let the work teach you. Because even if you had 3 people at an abundance or conference, you're you're creating community, and then you're like, okay, now I have 3 people. Like that's how movements begin. Movements start with one person taking radical action, and then they get the first follower, and then the second, and then once you have a few, then people are like, what? I want to be part of this too, and it gets the ball rolling. So I wouldn't limit yourself by being like, oh, I have to do this big bad thing or big thing. I would just say, just do it, and do it with whatever you have available. Just do it, and then you can learn from it. And don't commit to yourself like, oh, you have to commit to a 20-year um, event. This is, you can do it once, and if you don't like it or if it doesn't work and you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it again. But by doing things that you think are hard or you think you don't know how to do, you do it, and then you know how to do it because you did it. And if it's a big success, great. If it's a big failure, okay, you learned a bunch of things. I mean, I've learned more from my failures. I think everybody has learned more from their failures than they have from their successes. And and as long as you don't take it to mean that you're a bad person and that you're a failure, like you didn't fail, the thing that you tried failed. Okay, pretty much every great, thinker in the world has tried something that's failed. So that's kind of a flex. It's not even a bad thing. So I'd rather try and fail than never try anything. Because if you're a person who tries, you're a leader. If you're a person who, maybe participates, you're a follower. And both of those things are great. We need both things in the world, but one has a different ambition and a different energy. There's the do withers, but somebody has to lead the way. So, and I think of you, Zafar, as you have that ambition and you have that desire to lead, and you see the benefit of it because you've already led with all these interviews, podcasts. So anyway, don't don't think it has to be all or nothing, because in life it's never all or nothing. It's always what you can do. You don't start out a billionaire. Like when I always look at Amazon and Jeff Bezos. He started out with an idea that everybody said was a bad idea. Oh, that's never going to work. And 5 years in, oh, it's not profitable. How's that going to work? Well, and now, you know, and now he has done a whole bunch of things. Are all those things really good for humanity? Probably not, like all the consumption and all the thing. But as a business, he's been very successful. Is that all of the success? No, in my point of view, he could be so much more successful in other ways, but he has this very narrow thing that he's very, very successful at, making money. So, even him, I'm looking at the richest man in the world and going like, I think he could do better. And I didn't take any risk to do anything. And I use Amazon all the time and I do things, and I'm not a hater, but I have my critique of him. So you're never going to please anybody, and all your success is going to not be success to somebody else. So do what you want. Do the good you were meant to do. That's all you can do, and do the thing that you like to do.
Oh, this is Shannon Lovegren not coming slow. Once again, unleashing abundance of health, wealth, and happiness, and unleashing tons of energies and power into me, pumping, Lord, and it's a huge, big energy. And Jim, out of the hashtag and Gem, it's as you said, it's not you who failed. It's the things, the things you tried failed, not you. My goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a huge, big gem again from your side. And sure, yes, I mean, I'm convinced, frankly, I mean, I'll go baby steps, and I'm convincing myself, I'm committing with myself that I'll start a virtual summit, the Global Abundance Summit in Pakistan, and you'll be my keynote speaker. Ask Rihan to come in also, and ask other people in your community, even if you're going to Switzerland, and then you'll have a bunch of people. So you get me a dozen people, and I'll arrange 50 more, and let's do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I volunteer to help support you on, to be part of that free of charge. But let's do it because, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be in a place. Pakistan's a big place. If you want to do it all online, and then you have your keynotes from the different places online. Wonderful, wonderful, and it's free. Or like almost free with a little bit of marketing and I
Okay.
don't know. Need a
So
bigger Zoom thing.
I'll talk to my AI tonight, and I'll just organize all this, and then I'll send you the whole schedule, and then you be my accountability coach. You be my conscious leader, and so
I,
that I don't fall apart. I mean, so
I'm not going to be your accountability coach because I don't have time for that. And you have to have
yeah,
boundaries.
you know,
However,
that's
I
where my energy goes down when you say I don't time. You're so busy. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
well,
Okay.
you
What's it's like 9 months. How about your part of the world? I mean, would you like to give us a catch up?
Yeah. Okay. So in the last 9 months, I've done a whole bunch of things. So I had created a course called Sustainability for Change Makers, and talking about things that you create and you think, oh, like, this is amazing, this is so fun, this is going to be helpful to people. Well, it bombed completely. It was like nobody was interested in this online course. And it's partly from the political situation in the United States with the with the Trump administration. But I created this wonderful course, and it was like nobody was interested in it. So it was a big failure. But am I a failure? Nope. I learned so much from creating that course. And now I have this thing that I'm proud of, and I'm now putting it on the side. And I started an organization called the Shannon Fund, where I'm a philanthropy advisor, and have ha- I have had a few philanthropists give me money so that I can give to small early stage companies who are doing something related to sustainability. So I'm able to give out some small grants, like between $5,000 and $10,000. So that's been very exciting because I've given away $60,000 so far. So that's wow, that's exciting. That's so fun to give money to things that are worthwhile. And then also, because I'm also getting paid as a philanthropy advisor, I had no idea it would be so fun to tell wealthy people what to do with their money. It's really fun. So I've been doing that. And then about a month and a half ago, I started working with a company called Gen AI Academy, teaching people how to use AI. So I teach courses on ChatGPT and Claude, to take people from my kind of a very basic level to understanding how they can use AI with some like very high level skills. And so I've been doing that, and that's been fun because I what I found out this year is that I don't like being a solo entrepreneur. Like, it's lonely, it's boring. I like people. So now I'm having a little bit more balance where I teach AI to groups of people. That makes me feel like I'm part of a community and part of a team. And then I have my other entrepreneurial ideas, and that's stuff I do on my own, but it's not lonely things that I do on my own. So yeah, I've had a whole bunch of successes and some failures and some pivots, and it feels good. I feel like everything's going my way right now, which is a great way to feel. uh, and I'm looking forward to just slowly building up my business. The teaching AI is, you know that that could right now I teach with a company, but I also am available to teach for like one-on-one coaching for people who are like, I don't have time to go to a conference. I just want, like, can tell me what I need to know. So I'm continuing to build, and it's all good. Or it feels good. Right now it feels really good.
Wow. 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 It's really, really amazing that you are abundant, and you are tuning other people into abundance, and you're all the time sharing lights, and you are a light, and you're lighting others. Wow, that's amazing. And tell us more about your visit to Switzerland and the conference, and what you're going to do there, and what's this all about.
Yeah, so I'm going to there's a conference in Switzerland called AI for Good, and it's run by the Inter Telecommunications something ITE. I can't remember what the last letter is. Anyway, it's in Geneva on July 7th through 10th, and it's brings together a bunch of people, including Van Jones, Will I Am from Black Eyed Peas, and John Legend, and then like heads of state and people who are working in the AI space, like the builders. And they're coming together to see what we can use AI to do good with. Like, how do we use AI to make the world a better place and to have people thrive instead of just a tool to make us more efficient? Uh, and because there's real consequences of AI. There's the water use, there's the energy use, there's the possibility of taking away jobs that are really valuable to individuals, by computers and by AI and then robots. So we're going to discuss these things because these things need to be talked about because the AI technology is coming. It's already here and it's being built where people go about their daily lives. They don't think about it so much, but the people who are building it know that this is transformative technology. It's like the car, it's like the light bulb, it's like computers. It's really going to transform how we do everything. And yet we are still at the baby stages of it. So we don't know how everything's going to change. So, um, my idea is to build the future, a future that we want, an actual abundant and prosperous future for everyone. That means that we need to design it that way. So these are the people who are thinking about how we can solve big problems through AI. So I want to be around those people because those are my people. So that's why I'm going to that conference, and then we'll see what we can do. It's somewhat related to the sustainable development goals, where we're like, these are the world's biggest problems. This is a framework that we can address them. How can we now use those tools, the AI tools, to make those things a reality? So that's that. That's AI for good.
Oh wow, wow! That you always amaze. Always you have new things to tell and amazing things. Yes, we need to redesign the organizations. Our organizations, the existing organizations, they are on linear, one, two, three, four, and additive arithmetic, and it's like that. But the AI is exponential, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. This is how it goes, like boom, yeah, like this. So what we are doing right now, we are implementing this exponential AI into our linear systems. So as you said, wow, I mean, it gets me tons of energies when you say we need to redesign. Yes, and Tesla redesigned the car. In thinking on the first principle, we need to redesign everything. All right, and what's your? I mean, it's about sustainability, as you said, and you are representing your sustainability philanthropic, and that way, just because this is another, AI will make things more sustainable. Is that the reason that you're the part of this
It's
conference?
it's it's going to do both things at the same time. So AI is going to use a lot of energy that we don't have the infrastructure for, so that's problematic, and it's using a lot of water, and water, like fresh water, which is a very precious resource. I mean, in the future, water is going to be more valuable than oil, more valuable than gold. It's going to be the essential resource. So, and AI is taking a lot of it, and it's something that needs to be, is this sustainable over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? With the exponential growth of AI, are we going to be able to meet the needs of it to do it? But we also have AI that's creating is trying to figuring out how to solve that problem. So we're like, okay, well, we're we've created a problem, now we're trying to solve the problem. And you can have a technology that is both great and problematic at the same time. So flying an airplane is phenomenal for being able to create connections over long distances, and it's changed the world. it also is a big polluter. So, okay, how do we figure out ways to make that less problematic? Because we want an Earth that is not hot. We want it to be, able to sustain the life and the biodiversity and people and create water and have predictable seasons. So anyway, the AI is going to help with that, like help us figure out the problems, and it's also causing problems. So what we need to do is figure out what the balance is and have the conversations, especially with the big organizations and the global organizations, to see how we create that so that we don't just have a technology that's running amok, destroying things for the wealth of essentially 35 guys in Silicon Valley. Like, that doesn't make any sense for anyone, not even them. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have those discussions, and they're hard discussions and they're complicated discussions. So let's have those. Let's bring in the perspective of not just money, like, oh, we need to build this for money, for making things faster, better, more efficient. Why don't we also have that conversation and bring in things like justice and joy and thriving and the human connection? Because we this technology does not exist in a vacuum. It's not there for nothing. It's there to help humans. I mean, that should be the goal of humanity, is human thriving, not just money, because money is just a thing. It's like saying, I'm going to destroy the world because of this, or because I want this. This thing is the most important thing. It's like, this is a useless piece of garbage if it's not in my hand. If I'm not using it, this is useless. I have 3 of these in my drawer doing nothing because they're outdated, they're old, they're like broken. So, it's useless. So let's not have technology that we create and it destroys everything just to be useless because there's nobody to use it, because we're too broke or we're too unemployed or um, we don't have water, so we don't have food, so we don't, like, let's think things through a little bit. We're adults. We can make sure that we are creating a world that is uh, in creating technologies that are for us, not for the thing. Like, who cares about the thing? We care about us. So
Oh wow.
that was my little
Oh wow.
rant.
That's cool. Okay, I like to have a very basic, probably a silly question. Maybe you, please don't get mad on me. It's like,
Yeah.
the conferences or the evidence that the conversations are powerful. The debates and the talks are powerful. That's why people go on conference. They hold just because these are too expensive too. Like, I mean, you're traveling and you'll be boarding, lodging, and they're huge expense. And to the same to those who are organizing the same. Why do we talk? Why do we converse? What's the power? What's the
What's
secret behind all this? Like, I mean, all the time there are conferences, people are talking, there are podcasting and things that people are connected to each other. What's the real secret behind this? Why the world is doing so, and especially the first world?
Yeah. Well, okay, so you had a couple of themes there. The secret to a conference is not the knowledge. Like, the knowledge comes in and out of your brain, like, "Da, da, 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 da," and maybe it's a little bit sticks in there, but the real the real benefit of these conferences is the human connection. And when people talk about ideas together, then they can be transformative. And you've been to conferences before. Sometimes you go to a conference and you go in and you think, "Oh, that was great." And then you walk out and you can't remember even what you talked about or what you learned. It's just like in and out. Like, I've done a million courses, a million conferences, and I can't tell you one thing that I one specific thing that I recall from those things. But the conversations that I've had with individuals at these conferences are phenomenal. Like, for instance, I met Rehan Aliwala at a conference in Oslo. That was it was a serendipitous uh, chit chat where I walked up to a group of men because I was like, why are all these men congregating? Why aren't there any women in here talking to this? So I walked up and was chit chatting with them. And we had an interesting conversation about Pakistan because I said, can you explain to me why, you know, every person I meet from Pakistan is kind of incredible. Like, they're smart, they're stylish, they're um, engaging. And yet I have this vision of Pakistan as this incredibly poor, um, drought and flood stricken country, and like abject poverty. Like, it sounds terrible in my mind. But all the Pakistani people that I've ever met have been extraordinary. What's up with that? And he asked me to have, like, oh, do you mind if we have a little conversation about that? And so we had this nice conversation about something that I would normally not talk to somebody about. And it was the beginning of a friendship because we had a connection at a conference talking about something that was not even related to the conference. But I think it's taking people out of their normal life, putting them in a place where they're like encouraged to have new ideas or learn new things. And then you create connections over the things that you care about. Because if you're going to a conference, you usually care about that thing. And so now I care about creating a world of good, and I care about AI and how that's going to transform things. So now I'm going to go to this place where I meet people who kind of have that similar interest and passion, and we'll see what we can do, what kind of good mischief we can come up with together. Like, oh, what can we do together? What could be fun? What could be amazing? What could be transformative just through our conversations? So that's the real power of a conference, not the information. The information is good to have, but it's the connections with actual human beings that is the real power of a conference.
Oh wow, wow. That's cool. And how about, I mean, the person I was talking to you about, the one who's mining in the space for the materials for the time and so, and the housing there in on the moon and on the Mars, and he 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 said he's, he's in that abundance community in Peter de Abundance, and I asked, can you get me like 5 minutes out of his entire life so that I can just talk to him and he can give me a shout out. He said, man, it was 1986 when I saw him last time. So, the question is, these all the top tier people are very hard to be found. And they of course they're busy, like you yourself, you are busy. But I mean, how do you surpass this challenge? How do you conquer this mountain?
Of the mountain of meeting the top tier people? I don't. I don't know any top tier people. Um, I mean, and and I think that they're overrated because they're just people like you and me, and they have an expertise which can be considered very good. But if they're famous, they've probably given all of the real advice that they can give in a TED Talk or in an interview, whatever. Like, that's their gift. And who knows what they're really like as a human being. So I don't I feel like if I needed to reach the top tier person, I could probably get the information that I wanted out of them by by doing a Google search or an AI search. However, if the great thing, the reason why people want to get to those top tier people is because of their influence. Because if you're if you're interviewing Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk or a Melinda Gates, people are going to think that you're associated with them. somehow. And so that gives you some personal cred. Even if you're just interviewing, it's like, ooh, you can you can touch the highest mountain, and then you get something by association. But in reality, I'm like, I don't care that the second, third, fourth, fifth tier people that have really done things that I admire, they're just as good. They might just not be as famous. And those people are probably better because they haven't got the accolades that, the people at the top have gotten. And I find that amazing. So I don't I don't think that the the 10 richest men in the world, because they're all men, um, have something more than the next 1,000 richest people in the world, and they're they're a part of a club that is pretty rare. And so then I'm like, well, if I what's why do I even want to talk to them? Is there something that I think that they can give me that I want? Um, you know, I tend to like to talk to the artists um, and the philosophers more than the business people, because the business people have a lot of information out there on them. They, if they've written a book, they've led the company, and I can read about that, and I can hear an interview. But they're thinking about one thing. But what I find super interesting is the people who think differently, and they make my mind expand, so that when I do read that article about the business thing, I'm not thinking about how to make money, because that's not the only goal. But when I talk to an artist and they talk about challenges and the miraculous and how those relate to our life, and that we can look at the world and all the crises that exist around us, and also embrace the miraculous, that we exist, that a flower blooms in the spring, and that we have water falling from the sky to nurture us. Like, that opens my mind more than, you need to do X, Y, and Z to get this way and that way. I'm like, no. When I didn't think about the miraculous today, but when you talk to an artist, or somebody who is just in a different space, or a holy person, you're like, oh, that's right. We're not just this. We're a holistic person that has all these things. We're families, we're parents, we're lovers, we're friends, we're, miraculous beings, and um, we're just a bunch of atoms collected together in some sort of weird biology that works, and we're animals. And if I think of myself as an animal as opposed to an executive, I'm like, how does that change how I go about my day and how I relate to people? I don't know, but that's interesting. Like, it's different. It's different to think like, huh, Shannon is an animal. How does an animal act? Does it, and why am I acting like this when I'm just an animal? Like, I don't know. Just interesting things to think about. So I don't know. I think that the top tier people, like, that's a weird way to refer to people, because we're all just people. So like, you're a top tier person, I'm a top tier person, your children are top tier people. Like, we're all top tier people, because we're just, at the end of the day, people. But how do we relate to them, and why do we give some people a lot of credit for being amazing and not other people? When like, I just had the opportunity to interview two artists on Monday, and I was so blown away, because they were just thinking differently and thinking weird, and I loved it. I loved it because it was not the usual conversation, and they were talking about the art of witnessing, like looking at things deeply, and how that inspires you to take action, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. Like, say you see a dead bird, and it's filled with plastic in his belly because of all the plastic pollution. Like how terrible that is. But by witnessing something beautiful like a bird dead with plastic exposed because it's decomposing, you're like, oh wow, that moves me in a way. It makes me think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't use so much plastic, or huh, maybe I should take care of animals. And just they were talking about how seeing things makes a difference, and not just seeing it like we go through our day and we're not, seeing the people living in poverty. We're not seeing the beautiful building. We're just going about our day. But if you stop and you really look at things, and this happens a lot in nature, when you look at like a magnificent tree and you just go, wow. And then you look at the tree and you think, not only is it so tall, but it also has this bark that the bark on the outside protects it, and nutrients like go up on the inside of the bark. So it's like it got this skin around it that's protecting it. And how is this working? And this tree is alive and it's communicating with other trees and with the mycelium under the earth, and it's giving out oxygen, like this thing that I need to live, this tree. I just got that gift. That breath that I just took was a gift from this tree. Wow. And you just like, it was, anyway, it was an incredible conversation because it was a different conversation. It wasn't about success. It was about being and about the gifts that nature gives me, and about, when I go, I'm giving that tree a little bit of carbon dioxide that it needs. And all of a sudden it's like, I got you, girl. Look what I'm going to do. Your waste, I'm going to take it in. I'm going to turn it into oxygen so you can breathe. I got you. And I think, thank you, tree. I, I like you. You're my friend, and we're connected. And I don't think about that usually. I walk by a tree 20 times a day. I don't give it any thought. But in reality, like, we're in relationship to each other and we need each other. And I'm like, this is beautiful. This is a good reminder that I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. I need to be in the environment where I'm at, which is, you know, in a home, hopefully, but in nature, on the planet, you know, in community with people like you who live on the other side of the planet. But we're still, we're just human beings living on this big globe, trying to do our best and like exist well given the resources that are around us. So like we're connected, even though like we've only met each other through online. We're on the same planet. We have similar dreams. Our cultures are very different, but they're also the same. They're the same. Different religions, but whatever. We're like, at the essence, we are still together. Like, we're that successful sperm and egg combo that we both got lucky to win, and now we're living life. How beautiful is that? Just like we're winning. We're winning even when it's hard. We're winning. So anyway, that was my tangent. I just got off on a I just got off on a tangent.
Oh,
Anyway,
great. Oh, great.
back to you, Zafar.
Amazing. That's not only beautiful, but that's benefiting too. Yeah, this conversation is not normal. This is so powerful that changes and rewires the brain, and that rewired brain becomes happier and healthy and wealthy eventually. So that's amazing. Now I want your really trust opinion. You've been you know a lot of Pakistani people, and as you said that they're incredible smart, and but at the same time their drought, their scarcity is there. Why is it so? I mean, what's your research so far says why Pakistan is still a poor country? Is it a poor country?
Statistically, that's also an interesting thing is we talk about poverty, and when we talk about poverty, we usually talk about people. And the truth of the matter is people are not poor. They have a lack of resources available to them. But they are, I don't like that label to be on a person, like this person is poor. No, their environment lacks resources. They are a fully formed, perfectly valuable person in every right, as much as me, as much as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, have all the money in the world. Poverty is a state of resources, and not a state of being. You are not poor as a person, you live in poverty. So in Pakistan, a lot of people have a lack of resources. In the United States, there are a lot of people who have a lot of lack of resources, but your innate value is the same. Your innate value, even if you're a person without resources, is the same as every single other person on this planet. Nobody is above the other. It's just, do you have access to resources or do you not? And so I don't think of Pakistan as a poor country when I think of it in terms of its people. I think of it poor in terms of the delegation of resources. And I think that the same way about the United States. There is we're considered a rich nation, but that is relative, because a lot of the resources are are given to a very few number of people. So there are people here who are living in poverty because they have a lack of resources. So I'm trying to change the way I think about poverty and not associating poverty with people. I associate poverty with politics, with the resources and how they are distributed, because what we have plenty of resources. The world is abundant. It has already given us everything we need. And then how those resources are distributed is a political question and a policy question and a social contract challenge that we have, where we've said it's okay for some people to have phenomenal amounts of resources and other people to have very few. And that's one of the challenges that we're going to have to think about, because people, as they are not poor. So I'm not going to call people poor anymore, because I think that strips away their dignity, and it strips away the way we think about people. Because then if you have a resource and you're, quote, not poor, you're also kind of putting yourself above other people. And that's actually not true, because biologically we're the same. We're the same. And it's just, if you were to take, if something were to happen and like all of the financial systems of the world collapsed overnight, then the whole system of poverty changes. Then a small uh, sustenance farmer who doesn't have a lot of money becomes the rich man, the rich woman, because they have the resource that's most valuable, which is food. Whereas a lot of people who are living in Silicon Valley making gazillions of dollars don't know how to create a tomato to save their life. So it's just, I think we need to start changing the way we think of things like poverty, because we associate poverty with people, and that's not actually true. People are all the same. It's the resources that are resource poor or resource excess. Some people are excessively resourced. They can't even use those resources. And so they just hoard those resources, which is gross. Don't quit hoarding stuff you don't need. And actually, I think that works against you in the long run, because having excessive resources becomes a burden. And nobody needs a burden. So anyway, I think that's another conversation, Zafar. I've gone off on a tangent now. I'm really into the weeds over
Yeah,
here. I like it. It's kind of interesting conversation, though, that like success, success, success. But that we have that conversation all the time, but having the conversation about human dignity and value in relation to poverty is different. Like, because we're all the same. Like, biologically, we're all the same. We all had that egg zygote combo that then multiplied and became us. And there's 8 billion of us happening around the world. And in the core of our hearts, we mostly all want the same things: love, security, and all of our physical needs met. Food, clothing, housing. Those those are the five things we we want, and then human connection. And you know, if you have those five things, you're successful. And then we have society that puts other things on us to be successful. And you're like, well, really, anyone who has those five things, love, connection, um, their physical needs met, we're successful. That's it. That's the best thing in life. That's all we
And by the
need.
way, success is relative. A person could. I really follow Gaumod. He says about happiness. He said, I bought a Rolls Royce and I was happy for 7 minutes. The question, how? I mean, Rolls is it's such a huge, big, it's a moonshot car. And he said, I mean, when I got the car, I saw it, and it was in my park, in my house in UAE, and I saw, wow, what a car! I was so happy seeing this all. In 7 minutes, I said, oh man, I should have another color, not this one. That's happiness. It is gone like in 7 minutes. It's a $1 million car. It's a huge, big, expensive. It's a big toy. So happiness is really, really. It's relative. You've been happy a million times, but at the same time it faded. It's just a matter of time. It fades. But I mean, but look at this happiness that a person like myself from 1,000 miles away who just got connected to you virtually, and I just learned things. You were 1%. You gave me your attention, your vibes that I received here, and you change altogether. I mean, who on earth can have this happiness that you have? That's the real happiness. This will never diminish. Each time you see me,
Yeah.
and you feel so proud. And it's like, even if nobody is knowing this, even if you are not telling anybody, if nobody is telling this about you, that this is Shannon, we change all the perspective. We got you the 100 days, the rejection challenge, and that rewired your
Yeah.
brain. This is beauty of this conversation, this human connection. And I really, really, in books, as you said, in the books, the formula they teach you, or 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, or 3 into 2 is 6, or whatever. But I mean, this is the inspiration is always from human. I was inspired. I was inspired the way you communicate, the way you look like, or you carry yourself. Frankly, I mean, let me confess it. I'm really proudly confessing. I was inspired. Once you have the inspiration from someone, then that's the only thing that then only you can learn. If you are not inspired by your teacher, you can't learn. Even if Elon Musk comes and teaches, he's one person telling the whole truth. Whatever he does, he's telling it to the whole world. How many Elon Musk do we have more? He's the only one. So he's not the inspiration. I'm sorry to say. I mean, this is only he's rich. The day
Yeah.
someone gets inspired by Elon Musk, he'll be another Elon Musk. I mean, look, I mean, you're a philanthropist, and I got inspired. And look, what I'm doing. I can't get you the figure, but I'm copying you unintentionally, intentionally plus unintentionally. But I mean, this is what I'm trying to be. What you are doing, I'm trying to do what you are doing. Just because I believe the I can only unleash abundance of health, wealth, and happiness once. I mean, if we can inspire people, if people love me,
Yeah.
like me, and then only they'll be there. You know, there is a receiver, there is a sender. You are there. I mean, we've got an entire ecosystem. There is some device here, some device there. We've got some software, we've got internet, you've got internet, and this whole ecology is, you know, here. And so that's how it goes for the inspiration. So that's why, if we look back about the prophets, they were born, they were there in the communities, and they showed their love, respect, and kindness, and their action, and they were there, brought up there. People saw them with their own eyes. They saw, oh man, and then they got inspired. Then the people loved them, and then they followed. So same is true today. I really can't thank you enough for being such an inspirational lady, for being my mentor and changing my and rewiring my brain. I mean, you're a neurosurgeon. I don't know, you change everything here. And it's really amazing. Now, I like to ask about sustainability, sustainable development goals. Since you're a champion of SDGs, and you
Yeah.
this carry this torch from country to country, continent to continent, from from north to south pole, and from one region to another. And again, you are going to Switzerland, and in the like I would say this is west of the in the southern Europe. So tell us about sustainable development goals. What are these? I mean, why are you preaching all the time this? What's the importance, and how can this help us be sustainable?
Yeah. Okay. So very quickly, and then I have to end this interview. But I was supposed to be interviewing you, Zafar, and then you switched it on me. Somehow during this conversation, you just switched it on me. So now it's back to me again. But quickly, just so people know, the Sustainable Development Goals are 17 goals that are essentially the 17 biggest challenges that the world face. And the United Nations did a big survey across over 1 million people, asking like, what are the biggest challenges that you face? And they broke it down into 17 goals, and then 146 like separate separate targets that people could read. And essentially it is just a framework of solving the world's biggest problems. And it's everything from no hunger or no poverty, no hunger, health and well being, quality education, gender equality, water and sanitation, and the list goes on, renewable energy. There's 17 of these goals, ending with peace, justice, and what is number 16 is peace, justice, and good institutions. And then the final one is cooperation for the goals. So there's 17 distinct things. And it's a way that companies and governments can work towards solving big problems, because one country alone is not going to solve poverty. But if everyone works together and says, hey, we we don't want anyone to be living without resources. We want to make sure that everyone has what they need. That's something that governments can do around the world, and companies can help. And as individuals, we can also participate. So the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are a framework for people, corporations, and governments to work together towards solving big problems. So that is what they are. And my friend, I have to go now. So I'm going to wrap this up because I was supposed to be interviewing you.
Before you wrap it up, I'll
So,
just like 30 seconds on your Shannon Fund. Would you like to tell us, like in like 30 seconds, in a breath, maybe, or two breaths, what's Shannon Fund and what is doing for the world, and
oh,
how
okay.
can people join you or get benefit, or like all, if there are some millionaires or billionaires, they want to fund you, or like they want to grant you for your whatever you're doing. How's this? Well, tell us, educate us about this.
So the Shannon Fund is a nonprofit organization in the United States. It's tax considered a 501(c)(3), which is how you can give money. And what I do is I take money from people's donor advised funds. So this is what wealthy people do. They put money in their donor advised fund, and they get a tax benefit immediately, but they don't have to spend that money immediately. So that money is just collecting, and it's doing no good for nobody. So I started the Shannon Fund as part of the Shannon Fund is a philanthropy advisory where I tell, or am a thought partner with wealthy people on how they could get the most joy out of their philanthropic money. But then I have the Shannon Fund, which is able to take that money um, through their donor advised fund. And then in collaboration with the donor, figure out where we can give grants. And most of my grants are small. I don't have enough money. I've gotten maybe $75,000 worth of grants into the Shannon Fund. And so I'm giving out grants of $10,000, $20,000, $500 for someone who just needs something to, they need a, a piece of equipment. And I'm like, you know what, I can give you a grant to buy that piece of equipment. So that's what I'm doing. So I would love to get more philanthropists to give money to the Shannon Fund through their donor advised fund, so that I can give more early stage entrepreneurs like yourself, or people working to solve a problem, so that they can do the good that they were meant to do. And in there's I think $250 billion in donor advised funds just sitting around doing nothing but making bankers wealthy, when that money could be solving all sorts of social problems, both locally, both globally. And so I started my fund, and it's very small, with the hopes of eventually it'll be bigger and bigger and we can solve bigger and bigger problems. So that's the Shannon Fund.
And do you think this global abundance organization can qualify for the funds? And what could be the requirement for that?
I mean, the requirement is to tell me what you would use the money for, what impact you think it would have, and how much money you need. You know, that's it. I wanted to make the application process for the Shannon Fund more relational. So I have on the web, I think I actually don't have it on the website yet. So I'm also building an app, an AI agent app, so that you could apply for funding through your phone, where you can call a phone number and say, "Hi, I'm Zafar with the Global Abundance Organization. I'm hoping to do XYZ, and I need between this much money and this much money. And what I plan to do with it is this. Call me." And so I'm creating an app so that I can get these applications to make them easy, because I don't want to read a whole bunch of things. Like, you're dyslexic. Reading is painful, right? Writing is painful. So I'm working with a developer on a product called Logomable. And lagom is a Swedish word for not too much, not too little. And we are creating an audio grant matchmaking uh, prototype. So we're going to be testing that out in the next couple of weeks. But that's another thing. That's one of my other entrepreneurial ideas that I'm working on right now, to use for the Shannon Fund, so that I don't have to read. I don't want to read applications. I just want to be able to give people money, and I want to make the application easy for both people wanting a grant and for donors that I'm working with to, you know, to tell people what they need to do to apply for a grant.
What amazing! You are making the world a better place than you found it, and that's what. And then again, you're working for sustainability. Now, the wrapping up note from Shannon.
Yeah. So my wrapping up note. Okay, so Safar, thank you so much for letting me interview you today. It's turned out to be quite a back and forth conversation, but I always love speaking with you, and I appreciate you so much for your time. It's been phenomenal to see your journey from just starting the Global Abundance Organization a little over a year ago to what you've been able to create, and to see the transformation in even your bearing. Like, you look, frankly, much healthier. Like, your eyes are sparkling, your skin is glowing, like your shoulders are your posture is more powerful. And I can see this is coming from a place of joy. So I'm so grateful to get to see that. uh, and I'm glad to be part of you as a on your journey, that we are friends and that we are encouraging each other to go do the good we were meant to do, and we both know that. So thank you, Zephyr, for having uh, for giving me the opportunity to interview you as part of the Abundance Show.
Thank you so much, Shannon. It's my pleasure and honor. And again, I started this interview with the gratitude, and I really, really owe you everything in Rihan and Lizel and Kimberly and a lot of other people in my. They are instrumental. They are my teachers, and I'm seeing so amazing people, and this every day is another. You know, it, every day gets me more energy, and I'm feeling more grateful, and it is getting me. I'm, getting more belief on what you told me. Fear of failure is nothing. It's you always who matter. Thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zephyr. It is an honor to call you friend and to be interview you today. And I wish you a